Being out in the deep reaches of outer space is no easy task. From space pirates out for your hard-earned loot to weird alien creatures that will eat you alive. What spacesuit or armor set you wear in Starfield is one of the most important choices you'll make during your playthrough. It's difficult to nail down an objective best Starfield armor set because, as is always the case in RPGs, each one has its own unique stats and sets of strengths and weaknesses that will suit each player differently depending on your playstyle. Add to the fact that there are a lot of different armor sets in the game, and the choice becomes very tricky indeed. But we're going to have a crack at pointing out some particularly strong sets of gear you can find at various points during your playthrough that will last you dozens of hours as you explore before you find anything better. For the early game, it's hard to get past the classic. The best early game Starfield armor is the Mark 1 Constellation set that can be found at the Constellation Lodge in New Atlantis. This can be picked up the first time you arrive at the location, and due to its high stats, it will last you a ton of adventures before you even consider donning anything else. Of course, obtaining it isn't exactly legit. If Bethesda are going to leave this kind of glitch in the game, then we have a long-standing tradition, nay responsibility as Bethesda game enjoyers, to exploit them mercilessly. You can find it in the basement of the Constellation building. Start by going through the room with the workbenches and then right at the corridor. At the end is a doorway with a painting on the wall opposite. Head into this room. In this room, you can find the locked display case on the left with the Mark 1 Constellation armor set inside. Now yes, the case has a master lock, making it difficult to open until you reach level 3 in the security skill, but you can bypass this ridiculously easily. If you aim at the seal between the glass door and the glass walls of the case, you'll be able to interact with the mannequin inside and loot the armor set without even having to open the lock, letting you grab the Mark 1 spacesuit, the Mark 1 helmet, and Mark 1 pack for literally doing nothing. It's free, it's easy, it's a fantastic suit. You really should pick it up every time you start a new playthrough. Another one of the best Starfield armor sets is the Mantis armor, which can be picked up for free during the Mantis quest in the early to mid portion of the game. It's quite a long mission as far as side hustles go, but its potential is ridiculous and its base stats alone make it worth the pickup. Here's a brief overview of how to get it, if you haven't taken on the Old Neighborhood quest yet. During the Old Neighborhood quest, you can pick up a data slate from a random spacer called Secret Outpost. If you read the slate, the quest will be added to your log, pointing you towards the Denebola system to find a hidden outpost. From there, you just have to find the Mantis base in the system and make your way through the base and solve the puzzle at the end. When you've done this, you'll get the Mantis set, which is one of the better suits in the game, as well as the very useful Razor Leaf ship that will be all yours. But if the Mantis doesn't suit you, the Peacemaker armor is perhaps something more towards your taste. It's definitely more of a mid-game set, coming in at a legendary tier and boasting some fantastic stats. But its biggest selling point is probably the plus 10 damage boost with rifles. Nah, I'm joking. It's definitely the automatic invisibility while crouching in place. To get this armor set, you'll need to finish the Peacemaker questline at the Elios retreat. You can start this by heading to the star system of Ixiel, located at the northeast of the star map. Once you've landed at the retreat, you'll be presented with the Dead Stop mission, where you need to locate a missing worker called Kilman in a nearby cave. If you continue following this questline, you'll eventually get the Ghost Hunt and Exorcism quests. No matter what choices you make in these quests, it all ends up with you getting the Peacemaker armor set from Raisha at Laredo Firearms in Aquila City, and you should definitely consider picking it up. So there you go, just a few of the best armor sets you can find in Starfield, and if you're looking for more ways to make your playthrough easier, go check out this video, where we show you how a simple puddle can get you all the credits you could ever want.